good morning, Abby.
Hi.
I'm Reagan Durham with Salesforce.
So good to see you again.
Yes, so great to see you again. How are you doing today?
I'm great.
Great, that's so good to hear. Well, it was so great meeting you the other week at that alumni tailgate. That's so funny that Jack and I both know you.
Oh, I know. What a small world.
It really is. So Jack and I'm sure you know our relationship. We went to Terry at UGA together. So we had a few classes together. So it was great reconnecting with him, and it was awesome that he introduced you to, me to you, which is awesome.
I'm really excited to hear about what you have for me today.
Yeah. So I just wanted to go ahead and give you my business card.
Thank you.
I know we exchanged information at the tailgate, but I just wanted to give that to you as my personal cell phone, my personal email. So feel free to contact me anytime after this meeting with questions or concerns about anything.
Thank you so much.
That's awesome. So I know that you're a very busy woman and that your time is very valuable, so I just wanted to make sure that we have 20 minutes for this meeting, correct?
Yes, 20 minutes is still good for me.
Okay, awesome. So I know that I've talked to Jack a little bit about Yeti in general, but is there anyone else that you wanted to, or did you think that needed to be in this meeting today?
For now, I think just the general conversation is just going to be between us.
Okay.
There might be some conversations later with a few other people from my department, but I'm the only one you have to worry about right now.
Awesome. All right, that's good to know. And do you mind if I take some notes during this meeting?
Of course not.
Okay, perfect. So I went ahead and kind of took the liberty of just writing out some general ideas and made an agenda of what I wanted to talk to you about today.
Okay.
So please feel free to interrupt me with any questions or anything that you may have along the way as I go through this. So firstly, I just kind of wanted to talk to you, get to know more about you and your role here at Yeti. And then I'd like to just get a better understanding of the challenges, maybe the goals that y'all have set here within the company. And finally, I'd just like to show you a demo of Salesforce. Sorry. And to show you a little hands-on basic stuff of our software, just to really show you what we have to offer and what may benefit you. And then if everything goes well in the end, I would love to discuss a potential future partnership between Salesforce and Yeti.
Okay, great.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So I have come up with a few reasons why Salesforce may be useful for y'all, but however, I need to ask a few more questions, just to gain more understanding on Yeti in general, maybe the conflicts and needs that you guys need. When I was talking to Jack at the event, he mentioned how there's been tremendous amount of growth here within the company. So congratulations on that. That is fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very, very proud of the direction we've been moving in. So
yeah, that's awesome, as you should be. It's great to always hear of a success that y'all are experiencing. $450 million in revenue, that status is huge, which is awesome. So really, where is there to go from here for Yeti? What are y'all's goals or just ambitions after this?
We're always looking to continue growing and hopefully never stop. So we are constantly setting goals for ourselves, but I think an overarching one for the company would just being to make sure that we're always there for our customer and able to meet all of their needs. So whatever it is we need to be doing in order to do that, and continuing our growth is our main goal.
Right. Jack did mention as some of the core values of Yeti that the customer is really just the center of it all, which is really awesome to hear that they're the main focus.
Right.
He did also mention that maybe y'all were experiencing some challenges with maintaining this growth after you've just experienced so much, or really staying on top of it, and how it might be conflicting with some of the core values of Yeti. Would you agree with this, or have you seen this at all throughout the company?
Well, we have a very outdated system of keeping track of our customer information. It's caused us to kind of fall behind in this huge growth process that we've been experiencing.
Right.
It's a lot slower and less efficient, so a lot of larger companies, we're falling behind them because we don't have the same kind of systems that they do. So that's what we're currently looking into changing and fixing. Right.
He did mention that y'all were looking at some other CRM solution providers, which of course is why I'm here, just to tell you what Salesforce can do for you. So this tracking system that you mentioned, it being outdated, what are you currently experiencing that? Are you experiencing many errors or issues?
Well, the tracking system, as I said, it's very manual. Among our employees, it kind of starts with the sales reps just putting all their information in and going to our managers. So the sales reps are out in the field collecting their customer data, and then they log that data however they feel. We don't really have a requirement on that. So whether it's a Word document, an Excel spreadsheet, and then they're just getting that over to their managers however they can. So there's obviously going to be some small errors or lost in translation as that happens,
Right.
but that's just due to having to manually input everything and
Right.
moving it along the line.
Okay, so I completely understand that human error can really just sometimes affect certain things. But you did mention a small percentage of error that might be coming of this. And could you give that a number exactly if you had to?
Well, like I said, it is a very small percentage, but since we don't have a way to track the errors that are taking place, if any, I would say it's probably about 0.5% of our total revenue, if I had to put a number to it.
Okay, yes, of course, that is a very small number, or a percentage of your total revenue, but those small numbers do end up adding up in the end, so, I mean, that's good value to know. You mentioned that the inputted data information going from the sales representatives kind of up the chain of command to the managers. Could you go more into detail of that process and how that actually works?
Right. So we have a certain number of sales reps under about 10 managers. So I would say for each of the 10, there are 10 sales reps reporting.
Okay.
These sales reps, they go out in the field, they collect all their information once an order is placed from the customer, anywhere from, order history to quantities, etc. And then they're coming back, manually logging in, like I mentioned, however they see fit. And then they're getting that to their managers. So then the managers just have these pieces of information logged on each customer and from each sales rep. And then we just compile all that for the quarter.
Okay, so the compilation of all this data, have you thought of any specific parts of this communication system that could really be improved, or?
There's always room for improvement in regards to anything, but I do believe there are some slight discrepancies as the information gets moved along the chain of command. Just like I said, with the manual inputting and compiling, it can get really difficult for the managers to keep track of everything. So that can definitely prove challenging.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I completely understand that. And you said that each manager is roughly in charge of about 10 or so sales representatives, you said? And with that, what would you say each sales representative, how many accounts would you say that they're in charge of?
It really varies, but if I had to say an average, each sales rep probably manages about 10 accounts.
Okay, so 10 accounts for each sales rep. And what would you say the hours per week are dedicated actually by your managers working out the kinks of this compilation of data and just what maybe they may be working on?
Well, it really varies, but our managers could be spending anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week putting this data in, which I know is a lot of time, but as I mentioned, we really don't have that streamlined system in place to go through this process.
Okay, so you'd say 15 for the lesser weeks and 20 for the more busy weeks.
Right.
Okay. And if you had to value, like give a number value of your manager's time, what would you actually say for that?
Well, our manager's time is very valuable, as most people's are any growing company. So if I had to say, I would probably guess about $100 an hour.
Okay.
They have a lot of other things that they could be doing while they're doing those things.
So back to the chain of commands that we were talking about. I was talking to a few of the Yeti employees earlier this week, and they mentioned how maybe the managers don't really get to see the full customer profile information, that the sales representatives are really the ones that have that relationship, and they kind of mostly see just the numbers. Is that correct?
Yeah, so our managers can really just see whatever the sales reps give to them number-wise. They don't really have access to the customer profiles, so that can sometimes affect our ability to communicate cross-functionally.
Right, within the department.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that adding to some of the confusion in the communication.
Right.
Just by not having everyone having that access to the information. So obviously this may lead to some difficulties that y'all have been having, and hopefully that we can be there to work some of this out with you. So since you have been looking for CRM providers, what would you say that you've really been looking for? Like, what would you say would be the best option for you in this?
If I had to describe something that we're looking for, obviously our main challenges have been just the streamlining of the process of putting this information. So something that could provide a really easy way for us to have all this information, something that can provide more visibility on our customer profiles, and just, kind of a way to overview everything of what's going on in the company, and really just to be able to get a hold on that growth that we've been experiencing.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, and obviously that's what I'm hoping that Salesforce can really do for you. And I really think that that could be something to get back to your customers, that customer base that you were talking about. And I would love to show you a demo of Salesforce if that's something that you're interested in.
Yeah, I would love to see everything that you've been mentioning.
Awesome. Let's just slide around here. Hopefully, no technical difficulties. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So basically what you're seeing here is the main screen of Salesforce. So it's very organized. We've got the tabs along the top and the tabs along the sides, as you can see.
Right.
In organization, we pride ourselves on that because we really want to make sure that your information is not getting lost and you really know where everything is. One great proponent to this is the ability to be able to customize this to match your needs. So whatever you really want your sales division to be working on, whether that be the sales that week or focusing on the sales reps' connections with the other division managers, you can really focus on customizing that to really fit that. Right. Another thing that you mentioned, I know, is just managers not really knowing the process that the sales reps are going through. Well, through this program, you can really see the whole sale from start to finish, which is so awesome. You can see the very first sale, the very last sale, and you know every step along the way. So you kind of know where you're thriving and you know where you're struggling, and you're able to really praise those certain areas or really work on those other areas where you may need it. So it kind of compares all the sales reps in that regard. Another thing that we just talked about, just how the managers aren't really able to see all of the customer profiles. This allows you for everyone to log in and be able to see all of the customer information. So managers can really build that relationship with their customers as well and not just be looking at a screen of numbers. So just not only are the sales reps really building that, but managers as well, which I know is something that Yeti kind of wants to really pride themselves on, is their customers and all of that. I don't know if you have any other questions or anything else you would like to see on our...
Well, based on all the benefits that you've shown here today and talked about what Salesforce can provide, obviously my first question is going to be, how much is this going to cost for the company?
Right, of course. And I understand that numbers are a huge game when we're talking about new software and things. So I just kind of want to show you visually so you can kind of see all the numbers that we're talking about. So installation-wise and training, we're talking probably $40,000 for a company this size, and this the installation that includes us installing on all of your computers, mobile apps, all of that. And the training would be us here, hands-on, working with your employees, showing them how to work this software, really showing them the steps along the way. And if they have any questions, we're here for that first month to really just answer all of that. So $40,000 for that, and then per employee, there's going to be a fee. So per employee, it's about $125. And then for 100 employees, you said that'll end up being $12,500 per month for the employee. So we're looking at the first month being about $52,500. But then after that, you no longer have that installation and training fee. So it'll go towards $12,500 per month after that.
Okay. Wow, that's kind of a large startup fee.
Yes, and we recognize that, but we're hoping that our benefits really pull through. I also kind of want to go back and talk about some of the values that you mentioned earlier. We talked about your managers maybe spending about 15 to 20 hours per week on really that compiled data that they really need to focus on, which might be considered lost hours of work, where they could be working on other things that are more important. So if on a less busy week, you've got about 15 hours on one manager losing that much of work, and you valued their work at about $100 an hour. So that would end up being about $1,500 just on that 1 hour of work. And for all of those those managers that you have, 10 managers, that end up being $15,000 just per week on lost hours of work, just spending that money on trying to get them to work on all of that compiled or miscommunication. So another number that we talked about was having maybe about 0.5% loss on human error on the sales reps recording the information. So that 0.5% of your total revenue, which is $450 million, which again is incredible. But when you're losing 0.5% of that just to human error, that comes out to be $2.25 million of total revenue that you're losing just on the basic human error.
Wow, I had no idea how much that was actually costing us.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it's huge when you actually see it written down on paper and really recognize the amount of money that you're losing. But after seeing these two numbers and kind of comparing the 2.25 million to the 52,000, what are you thinking?
Well, you know, obviously 2.25 million is a lot bigger than the 52,000 we'd be paying for that first month.
Yeah,
so it seems like that would be really a good choice for our company to make. And the benefits are definitely there. However, I would just definitely have to talk to some other people from my department and get some approval from our finance team and just kind of see where the company's at with everything before we go any further.
Right, absolutely. And I mean, at Salesforce, we're here to help you achieve your goals. We want you to get back on track onto that growth and be experiencing as much growth as you possibly can, and then really focusing on your core values, getting you back to that, and focusing on your customers. So, of course, I would love to schedule another meeting with y'all. Is next week around the same time a great time for us to meet?
Yeah, I can do that, and I can make sure that all the people who need to be here are briefed and here.
Awesome. Yes, I have just a note of the numbers that we talked about and just some facts about Salesforce in general. If you just want to debrief them on that before I come next time, that would be awesome.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do that.
Thank you so much.
Well, yeah, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to our meeting next week.
Yes, thank you so much.